It's always emotional when the Giants and Dodgers play, but this series has been something special. Unforgettable moments have been piling up left and right, and last night things hit a new level.
That is hit to left center field and well hit. This one is gone. Home run number 1 for Arroyo. High drive. Left field. It is out of here. And this game is tied. Unbelievable.
Today, the Giants look to beat LA one more time. Next. Day baseball here at AT&T Park as we get ready to wrap up this 4-game series. Welcome to NBC Sports Bay Area, powered by Xfinity. Hi again, everybody. I'm Dwayne Kuiper. Alongside me is Mike Krukow. Well, because of the great win last night for the Giants, they have a chance to take the series with a win today, and they'll hand the ball to Matt Moore.
Well, Matt Moore is coming off a couple rough starts against the Colorado Rockies. You know he wants to get into a good rhythm early, and I think early is the key for not only Matt Moore but for the offense as well. Last night, a lot of momentum. It was really cranked up in the way the Giants won the ball game in comeback fashion. It is important for the offense to get going early, to get the crowd back into this game and keep that momentum rolling. So we watch for early production from both the pitcher and the offense.
Hit a couple home runs in the first inning. That might be fun. All right, stay tuned. We'll take you to our NBC Sports Bay Area studios for an update. And we'll do that right after this.
NBC Sports Bay Area is brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. By Jack in the Box. Come try the new guacamole and bacon chicken sandwich only at Jack in the Box. And by the 2017 Jeep Cherokee with an EPA estimated 30 highway miles per gallon.
Giants fans are pumped because their team has a chance to win the series with a victory over the Dodgers today. They're coming off a huge win last night that could be the spark that they need to turn this season around. Welcome back to our broadcast. I'm Amy Gutierrez, and you simply just could not script last night's win any better. A lot of heroes, and of course the return of Michael Morse, who created yet another amazing moment for fans to keep in their memory banks at the plate. And it was almost identical to his miraculous moment at the plate in 2014. So we're going to make it our McDonald's True Stories. And as we look back, we're putting them side to side, these clutch pinch hit home runs. It's uncanny. It's the exact same reaction, and he looked like a kid in a candy store, pure elation, pure joy. And after the game, Morse said, quote, "I was like, I hope I didn't strike out, and I'm just running around the bases." Well, it was not a dream. It was simply a dream come true for 40,000 people here last night. Pretty awesome. All right, Matt Moore will be on the hill for your San Francisco Giants this afternoon. You've got Kruk and Kive, you've got lineups, you've got first pitch, you've got Giants and Dodgers series finale. Stay with us.
This afternoon, it's a beautiful day for the Giants and the Dodgers. Let's take a look at our game time weather, and it's presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Yes, the boardwalk is indeed open. Visit beachboardwalk.com for park hours. 65 degrees, winds at 11 miles per hour, and lots of sunshine. So the Giants take the field. Let's take a look at the Dodgers lineup, and it's brought to you by Southwest Airlines. It'll be Hernandez, Seager, and Justin Turner, who, oh, by the way, is red hot, followed by Puig, Chris Taylor, and then Austin Barnes. Scott Van Slyke's going to get the start. He'll be at first base hitting seventh, and it's Bellinger and Julio Urias.
On the hill today for the Giants will be the left-hander Matt Moore. Moore, 27 years of age. He's in his 6th year at the big league level. Big guy, 6'3", 210-pounder. This is what he's done in 4 starts. The last 2 outings really bloated up his ERA as he had trouble with the Colorado Rockies. He faced them twice. Today he is going to bring in a fastball that you'll see low to mid-90s, more mids than lows. He also throws a lot of cut fastballs. He's got a curveball, which is very good, and a changeup. And for Matt Moore, lifetime against these Dodgers, 3-2 with a 4.40 ERA. But however, if you look back to the last time he faced him, last October 2nd, he threw 8 innings. He allowed 1 run on 3 hits. He struck out 6 in that game, and that was the first time that he broke out the cut fastball against this Dodger team. What do you say we take a look at the defense playing behind Matt Moore today, starting in the Giants lineup, or in the outfield rather, from left to right. It'll be Belt, Hernandez, and Pence. Pretty good arms across the board, the best one in right field. Nunez and Arroyo on the left side of the infield. Tomlinson getting a start, joining Posey on the right side of the infield. Nick Hundley, he'll be in the squad, putting down the signs.
Coming out of spring training, the defensive team the Giants had and the defensive team they have today, one player at the normal spot, and that's Hunter Pence.
So stay tuned. It's going to change on a daily basis. Right now, let's take a look at our Nissan keys of the game. Number 1, get the crowd into it quick. The energy last night was magical. The Giants offensively need to light this place up early. And number 2, Matt Moore, find your confidence early. And for Matt Moore, I think a lot of his confidence has to do with the fastball command and the command of that cut fastball. Those are our Nissan keys of the game.
Here's Kike Hernandez to lead things off. Hernandez in center field today, and the first pitch of the ball game is outside. So we get started right on time at 12:45. And a beautiful 65 degrees, as we mentioned earlier. The pitch, and it's a call strike. Kerwin Danley's calling balls and strikes. It'll be Titchener, Hamari, and Miller from first to third.
Well, Kerwin Danley, you're not going to get many corners. It's kind of a tight zone, but you will see knee-high strikes. You will see some belt-high strikes. He's kind of a rule book strike zone.
2 balls and a strike.
What Matt Moore likes to throw, well, hard stuff, basically. 70% of the time you're going to see fastballs and cutters. And we mentioned the curveball changeup combination. Those are his specialty pitches.
Fastball high, so it's 3-1. Just trying to get the feel of the mound for Matt Moore as he faces Kike Hernandez, who's 1 for 9 lifetime against Moore.
And this is a good fastball hitter. Really loads up that back leg. Really balances himself on one leg to get ready.
Takes a rip and pops it up. And Hunter Pence in right field, and he'll make the catch. So that's how this game gets started. And here's Corey Seager. Corey Seager, I don't know, last night what they say his home run went over 450 feet.
It was a bomb. It had been halfway up the bleachers in center field.
Swing and a miss, no balls and 1 strike.
And right now this ballpark's playing small. It does not have much wind, and wind really is the only protection, especially on the right side of the field, from being a bandbox. This is normally a pitcher's ballpark. Today it might even favor the hitter a little bit.
Comes back with a fastball. This was the ball that he hit in the distance.
Well, it's a big man home run. He got backspin, and look how high up in the bleachers. That's Barry Bonds country up there.
Drives another one into left center field. And gone. And he does it on an 0-2 pitch, and it's 1-0 Dodgers. So Seager hits his 5th of the year.
It's pretty close to the same location that he hit his home run in last night's ball game. And when you're ahead in a count 0-2 with a guy, this is an absolute mistake. That is T-ball location at the belt. And what's the easiest place to defend when you have a 2-strike count? Between the belt and the letters on your chest.
Here's Justin Turner, and Turner fouls it back. Very similar last night. Michael Moore's home run. Michael Moore's swing and a miss. First 2 pitches. Next pitch gone.
See ya.
Seager just did the same thing. Turner's hot. He's hitting .368. And that pitch is high. Only one on the field. Actually, a couple guys hitting higher. Chris Taylor's at .429, but not nearly the at-bats. Buster Posey's coming in at .370. Foul back. It's now 1-2 with Yasiel Puig on deck.
When you're on the mound like Matt Moore is today, and you have an 0-2 count on a guy, and you make a location mistake like that with a fastball, you're having a pretty good word with yourself. And he knows better. I mean, every pitcher who's ever put on a pair of professional spikes knows better.
In the dirt, it's 2-2.
Take a look at where the pitch was. I mean, this is right down the throat, middle away slightly, so where the big man can get extended. Just a mistake. But now you've got to get and refocus. Forget about it.
And I'm sure as a pitcher, you're thinking, well, why didn't he foul that pitch back?
You don't expect a guy to foul those back. That's how bad that mistake was to location.
Full count to Turner. And he walked it.
This is a hitter strike zone today. The last couple nights have been pitcher strike zone. Not today. I'm not saying that Kerwin Danley's strike zone is bad. It's not. It's a good consistent zone. It's just a smaller zone than the previous 2 umpires.
Here's Puig. We get a hit on Monday, 1 for 3. Came back. Did the same thing on Tuesday, and then in last night's game we got a couple of hits. He's got 4 hits in the series. First pitch strike, and it's 0-1. He's 2 for 7 in his career against Moore. One of the 2 hits a home run.
Yeah, great day for a hat.
Yasiel Puig with Chris Taylor to follow. Turner's got 1 steal. Nunez, Tomlinson at double play depth. 1 out, a run in, and Turner at first. Just underway here at the corner of 3rd and King. Fastball high, 1 ball and 1 strike.
It's a little bit underneath that cut fastball. He's got a little push to it. And that's an important pitch for him to get established early, and he hasn't quite found it. See the defensive shift? Not a whole lot. Just at second base with Kelby Tomlinson playing close to the bag.
Hundley's target was away, and that was high and away, so it's 2 balls and 1 strike. There's Chris Taylor. Giants come in at a record of 8-14. The Dodgers are 10-12. They'll play 3 more times next week. Swing and a miss, 2-2. We're trying to hit one off the Coke bottle, which, by the way, in batting practice yesterday, you saw it, I didn't. Michael Morse almost did hit the Coke bottle.
Well, he hit the level that the Coke bottle sits on top of, and we've never seen that. Little Coke bottle patio up top.
Got him.
And that's the cutter he wants. That little one that right-handed hitters will give up on, and that little 3 or 4 inch slide comes back to the strike zone. This is a big pitch for him to get that established in the mind of Kerwin Danley, the plate umpire. And that's perfection in a 2-strike count. Grab some pine, meat. our Exmo brought to you by your local Toyota dealer, and you can see just how Nick Hundley, the catcher, stuck that location. Job well done.
Here's Chris Taylor. Taylor and Moore have 3 at-bat history, and Chris Taylor is 0 for 3. Taylor pinch hit and went 0 for 1 on Monday, which is down low. Started at second base and 1 for 4 on Tuesday, and then had an 0 for 1 as a pinch hitter yesterday. Two outs, a run in. Bouncing ball up the middle. Tomlinson shovels to Nunez, side retired. So a run on the home run by Seager. It'll be Pence, Belt, and Nunez coming up. And here's Bruce Bochy's lineup, and it's brought to you by Southwest Airlines. It'll be Pence and then Brandon Belt in his last 8 games against the Dodgers. Yeah, Belt doing good. Nunez, Posey, and Arroyo. Hundley will hit 6th. Then it's Tomlinson and Hernandez, with Matt Moore hitting 9th.
On the hill today for the Los Angeles Dodgers will be Julio Urias. Urias, the 20-year-old left-hander. He's the youngest guy in the field today, and that's saying something. He's 6 feet tall, 225 pounds. And this is what he did last year, 5-2 with a 3.39 ERA. Look at the strikeouts, 84 and 77 innings. How's he do it? He's got a good fastball. It goes low to mid-90s. It's got a little natural cut to it. He will enhance that cut. He's got a good curveball and a slider changeup combination. He'll give you all 4 pitches. He has confidence to throw any of those pitches in any count. And this is how he uses his pitches. There you see the fastball, but he throws a lot of cuts. He will two-seam it as well. The curveball, slider, changeup. Again, I mean, he gets one of those things working. He'll ride it hard. He believes in all of them, and it shows in those statistics. Lifetime against the Giants, he's 0-1 with a 3.68 ERA.
Here's Pence. Pence takes down low. Hunter Pence at 296, a home run, 10 RBIs. He had the game-winning sacrifice fly last night, and just to say that is really underscoring what a great at-bat it was. Fouls this one back.
All right, time now for the Togo's big play the Togo's way. With the bases loaded at the bottom of the 10th, Hunter Pence worked an impressive 10-pitch at bat that ended with a sac fly to left field, and it would result in a Giants walk-off victory. It was the at-bat of the night, and that's our Togo's big play the Togo's way.
Slowly hit, but foul. Was that Arroyo coming out of the dugout? Like he was leaving the fraternity house, wasn't it?
Well, I mean, that's really what he should be doing right now, the tender age of 21 years old.
The beer's over here. Pence pokes this one. And Taylor's going to throw, and they just got him as Pence falls down after he hit the bag. Almost poked it through. Yeah, this is what we're talking about. Beer's over here. Where?
Beer! Like any other 21-year-old, enjoys a celebration.
Here's Belt. Belt takes a breaking ball. That's a good one. Belt at 237. He's had good numbers against Urias in just 4 at bats. He's got a double and a home run, but now he's behind in the count 0-2. Back in left field with Buster Posey playing first base. Yep. They didn't forget that guy.
Oh yeah, they broke out the Michael Morris jerseys today. I was looking for mine.
I was telling you, he slept in his uniform last night.
I don't think he left the park.
1-2 to Belt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Overshift again on when Belt hits. And he got him.
Let's take a look at the Dodgers defensively. Starting in their outfield from left to right, it'll be the rookie Bellinger joined by Hernandez and Puig. Good arms across the board with one of the best in the game in right field. Seager and Turner on the left side of the infield. Taylor and Van Slyke on the right. Austin Barnes, he'll be in the squad, putting down the signs.
Here's Nunez at 241 with 5 runs batted in. And he takes inside for a ball, 1-0. Buster Posey on deck.
If there's a classic style to a left-handed pitcher out of the windup, it would be what you're watching here with Urias. High leg kick, high 3/4 release.
Look out.
And again, the rock back with his hands over his head. You don't see that very often anymore. It really is kind of a throwback motion.
There's a strike.
I mean, it's a beautiful throwing motion to watch. It's kind of like a left-hander's jump shot. But the very fact that he brings the hands up over the head as he gets started, something that just sort of fell by the wayside.
New lumber for Nunez.
Well, that's what a cut fastball is designed to do. Get in tight, break a bat or two. And that is Bill Soakland. Bill Soakland, our ball dude, making a play. Good baby Bill. And Nick Dewyer. He's a Rawlings guy. He's got his watch on though, Kipe. Seriously.
Come on. Put a sweatband over it. Pop up. Out of play.
That last fastball, a 95-mile-an-hour fastball, is our fast pitch brought to you by Xfinity, the fastest Wi-Fi at home and on the go.
My first spring training in minor leagues, we had a guy show up, take the field wearing a watch.
Oh, a player?
Yes.
Oh my word.
Yeah, there was a gift from his girlfriend. He was a drafted high school kid. And while this is in the air, I'll finish the story. Coaches said take it off. Showed up the next day with a sweatband covering it up.
Gosh, a veteran move.
The next day, they both were gone. 1-0 Dodgers.
Should be gone.
NBC Sports Bay Area is brought to you by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places.
Here at beautiful AT&T Park, a 1-0 lead for the Dodgers. Is Matt Moore will go after Austin Barnes here in inning number 2. And a first pitch strike.
I think the challenge for Matt Moore in this inning is to establish the knee-high location. He was not able to do it in the first inning. Good changeup. What we've grown to know about Matt Moore is he likes to establish the fastball, and he'll throw a lot of them the first time through the lineup. He'll start breaking the changeup and the curveball out second, third time through the lineup, but that first time through, he likes to put it in the mind of the hitters that my fastball is my deal.
Well, that just missed.
Little cutter trying to nail out that outside corner. Last night, that's strike 3.
Yep. Tapped out in front of home plate. And he'll take his time, catcher to catcher. Check in with Amy G.
All right, gentlemen, well, congratulations in order for a member of the Giants family and now a member of the NBC Sports Bay Area family, Matt Williams. He was inducted into the Bay Area Sports Hall of Fame earlier this week. He said he's very honored to be a part of this community, and it melts his heart to know that the fans, especially the Candlestick fans, always stuck with the Giants and with him. He's a deserving member indeed. The funnest part, though, is Mike Krukow was on assignment the same evening, and it really drives fans crazy to not know where you guys are when you're on assignment. So we get to announce that Mike Krukow was working indeed. He was presenting Matt Williams. Guys?
Well, it makes it sound like when we're on assignment, we're on the couch.
We're working.
Popped up off the bat of Van Slyke. It'll be Buster Posey. And Buster will put it away.
But I got to tell you, it was a thrill to be able to bring Matt Williams and introduce him into the Bay Area Sports Hall of Fame, because he is one of our favorite people of all times, and certainly one of the greatest Giants of all times, and certainly deserving. It was a great class that went in, and a lot of the previous winners were there last night. A lot of unbelievable athletic history in that room. It was fun to be around it.
There's Bellinger, who watched this kid take a rip, and he takes it down low. 1 ball and no strikes.
He's a Matt Williams fan.
Yep, number 9. Well, when you stand on top of the plate like Bellinger does, you almost have to figure you're going to see a lot of pitches in, and when guys stand on the plate like that, they usually look in. They have to.
He is right on it. He's as close to the plate as we've seen in a while. Toes touching the chalk line. I mean, he's looking for something, just a little bit of leakage out over the middle.
That's right.
Oh, nice play.
One and 2. And down low. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Hundley wanted a curveball. He suggested about a half dozen curveballs here in the first couple of innings, and Matt Moore is shaking him off. He wants to throw that fastball and that cutter.
Got him.
Changeup.
1-2-3 inning for Matt Moore. Posey, Arroyo, Hundley coming up.
And Hamilton families have partnered to raise awareness and funds in support of the city of San Francisco's Heading Home campaign. And their goal is to end family homelessness in San Francisco. For every Giants run scored at AT&T Park, Airbnb, and the Giants will donate $1,000. So visit hamiltonfamilies.org and please check it out.
So Buster Posey is going to lead things off in a 1-0 lead for the Dodgers. And Buster takes high, hitting .370. A home run, 3 runs driven in. Remember, he missed, what, really 8 games. His first at bat at home, he gets hit in the head. That's 1, and then 7 after that on the concussion DL. You
talk about that 12-game hit streak that he's on. He's had 20 hits and 47 at bats. However, just 3 of them are extra base hits.
So he's getting ready.
That's not like him.
He needed somebody that doesn't shave to give him a little push.
Yeah, well, he's got one now with the guy on deck, Christian Arroyo.
And a high strike, 3-1.
There's the 21-year-old. Last night hit his first big league home run, a 2-run shot that made a 3-0 game a 3-2 game. One of the biggest swings of the night.
And the walk. First base runner for the Giants. We'll see Urias out of the stretch.
22, Christian Arroyo.
And the family's back.
Family flew in from Florida. Did not make it for the first game. First night he went 0 for 4. Then the second night when they were all there, he had his first big league hit off Clayton Kershaw. Last night his first home run. So they have experienced a few thrills.
And a strike, and it's 0-1. Maybe not quite as nervous as they were in game 1.
Oh, Mom slept good last night. Are you kidding? Her son's got a big league home run.
I do know one thing. She had great hands. That whole at bat where her kid hit the home run, she had a full tray of nachos, did not drop one chip.
No, it was impressive. That kind of stuff impresses my partner.
It does.
I just want you to know that.
Cheer for your kid and not drop any nachos? Man. Base hit. Posey gonna go? No.
Well, we're talking about it. It's our Jeep drive of the game. Last night, Christian Arroyo's first major league home run off of Sergio Romo. With 1 out in the 7th inning, it drove in Buster Posey, cut the Dodgers lead to 3-2, and lit this place up. And what a moment for Christian Arroyo. And there's the nacho tray. Not one chip dropped. That's our Jeep drive of the game.
Oh, I love that.
Look at that. Completely calm, level. Nothing fell out of the bowl.
Oh, my goodness. Here's Hundley. Hundley hitting at .238. Posey at second. Arroyo at first. And Hundley pops it up. Seager doing the pop-up dance, and he just barely caught it. And I don't believe the infield fly rule was called.
Keep waiting for the umpire to put the arm up. Never happened. And the wind has picked up since the first pitch of this game, and it's very evident here. There's sun, there's wind. It's all about Northern California. And Corey Seager winds up winning the wrestling match, but this was the ultimate definition of the pop-up dance.
Look, if he drops it, they're probably going to force Posey at third.
And he winds up putting it in the sweet spot. Good play.
Here's Tomlinson. strike. That'll be Tomlinson. Just got here. Got an at bat last night as a pinch hitter, went 0 for 1.
Good opposite field approach. You see him hit the ball right field a lot. When you watch a Tomlinson, no wasted movement as he loads his hands, as he starts to throw his bat head into the zone. I mean, it's a very compact route. Above average speed.
Chases that fastball and now falls behind. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Hey, the Millers are here.
How do you know?
Just a guess. They all look like a Miller, at least from behind. I know what they got for Christmas.
That's a good gift.
Hit on the ground. Seager to Taylor. And I don't know about that one. Let's probably take a look at it. We'll take a look at it.
Well, if they get it, they got him.
Yep, good call. So Tomlinson hits into the double play. Wasted opportunity for the Giants. Podcast on NBCSportsBayArea.com, brought to you by Max Muscle. You can log on each week as insider Alex Pavlovich is going to talk baseball. The Giants Insider Podcast on NBCSportsBayArea.com, also available on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and what's that last one? Spotify. Copy's getting longer and longer, big boy.
Yes, it is.
Arias bounces this one right back to Matt Moore. 1 out.
It's a little odd with a pitcher wearing a single-digit number like Arias.
It is odd.
But hey, Adley Hammaker had the same number. He wore number 7.
Not at the beginning. I think Adley was 14 for a while.
He was 14.
But you never, with Adley, you never quite knew why he changed it. Whether it was his idea or somebody else's idea, or What was his wife's name? It was her idea. Swing. Ain't gonna miss.
Jenny.
Jenny. No balls and 1 strike. No balls and 2 strikes.
Well, right now, Kike Hernandez is a good fastball hitter. Has to step out of the box, have a word to himself. He's thinking, how did I miss that? You know, I think if you see a guy like Hernandez, it's not a bad idea to double pump if you're a pitcher, because he loads up on his back leg and he starts lifting the leg up when the pitcher starts. If you go into a double windup, you could totally mess his first step up.
From deep third. 2 down.
Kike Hernandez is one of those guys that you could see him every week, and every week he might have a different stance.
Yeah. We were watching this couple. I think they got their hands full with this little one.
Well, she's got her pigtails and they're tinted orange. She's got a good attitude.
That just reeled her in. Somebody was coming up the steps. I'm back. This is my territory.
Yeah.
There's Seager.
It's
a great age.
Yeah, she's got her little stage there. She's going to be dancing for most of the afternoon.
All right. Can you sit on my lap for 10 seconds?
Think it's her first time?
Yeah, maybe. Oh yeah, mom's sunglasses. They're safe. It is amazing what you will hand the kids to keep them happy.
Oh yeah, keys of the car.
As they get older, you just hand them some cash.
Yeah, like when they hit 3 or 4 years old.
This glove is going to work for maybe a half inning. So Seager takes a 4-pitch walk, and that'll bring up Turner.
Yeah, she's going to make a lot of friends today.
Yeah, at that age, you do make a lot of friends. Absolutely.
I think the glove's a hit.
I think anything within reach is a hit.
That is a free spirit, folks.
Turner drew a walk in the first. Seager got a couple of steals. There's a strike at the knees.
Justin Turner immediately rubbernecked Kerwin Danley, the plate umpire.
I think Hundley wanted that pitch a little bit more in.
One thing you don't want to do is make mistakes up and out over the plate to Turner. That's where his power is. That's where he can hurt you.
Oh, 2.
Hey, Jack Clark's here.
Hey, my man Jack. Very popular number 22. Both Clarks wore 22.
Will, Jack. Hey, thanks for stopping by.
Mike Matheny, 22.
And now, Christian Royal.
With the blessing from Will Clark.
I like the fact that he asked Will Clark.
I do too. I don't think Dan Ugley actually called Will. Do you?
No. He just sort of rented it for about a week.
Not close. 1-2. Not quite sure, except that I think this gentleman went to fantasy camp.
Yeah, I think that's a fantasy camp number.
If you go to fantasy camp, you get a big league uniform.
A big league locker to use.
And he got him, and that'll end the inning. Turner knew it. So the Giants will send up Hernandez, Moore, and Pence. It's 1-0. Night, and it's a special event package. It's going to include a ticket to see the Reds and a Filipino Giants beanie. Good looking beanie. And reminder, you need the ticket to get the beanie. 415-972-2298 or sfgiants.com/special events. Thought the beanie last night was pretty cool.
It was a big hit at my house.
Yeah. We got one, so it's hard to. Here's Hernandez, and Hernandez gets a jam shot. Seager out, Bullinger in, and Seager makes another terrific catch. You know what? I'm just saying that he's pretty good.
Well, he showed it here. I didn't think he had a chance to get there. And he goes out. And what's unique about this is he goes out. He's looking over his left shoulder. Now all of a sudden it's over the right shoulder. And he winds up with a one-handed basket catch.
That's a backyard catch.
Sweet spot.
That is a backyard catch. Here's Matt Moore, who's 0 for 5. Does have an RBI. Takes a strike with Hunter Pence on deck.
I haven't quite figured out Matt Moore at the plate. We watch his batting practice. It's as good as anybody's. Good swing, swings it hard. Yet he gets in the batter's box, and all of a sudden something changes. I mean, those are two fastballs. He should be up there looking for a fastball.
Ask him when he plays golf, does he play right-handed or left-handed?
Oh, it's got to be left-handed.
I think.
Oh, yeah.
So second strikeout. Hey, is that Kevin Durant?
It is. And boy, did he get a nice round of applause when they introduced him between innings, sitting next to Larry Bear. We've had the chance to get to meet him. And,
yeah, he was up here about what, 3 years ago, 4 years ago, maybe.
And he
was great, awesome,
very nice guy.
and he was with the other teams then. He was with the Thunder then. Pence takes a strike. As a matter of fact, we couldn't get rid of him. He was just having a ball up here.
Very curious.
Yeah, I asked a lot of questions. He was here with Nick Collison.
Well, it clearly was not Nick Collison's first game, but it may have been Kevin Durant's. And he was very curious.
And especially in this park, when you see it for the first time, it will take your breath away. 1-2. Pence rolled out to Taylor to open up the bottom of the first. Well, there we see another catcher, Barnes, almost standing up, asking for that high fastball. Didn't really work last night.
Well, a 10-pitch at bat that it wound up in a sac fly from Hunter Pence, but a lot of the pitches from Ross Stripling was right across the shoulders and at a higher velocity than the 93 that you just saw from Urias. And Bruce Bochy said he was in the I'm not going to walk mode. He was swinging at everything. The question that everybody asked the Dodgers after the game was, why didn't Stripling ever throw a breaking ball in the dirt or something? Well, hindsight's always 20/20. But Hunter Pence had a great at bat and he got the job done.
And he strikes him out on a high fastball, and that'll end the inning. 2 strikeouts in the inning, 3 total for Urias. 1-0 Dodgers.
Our teacher, brought to you by Provident Credit Union, is back, and they need your vote. You can go to NBCSportsBayArea.com/AST All-Star Teacher. It's the 11th season of the NBC Sports Bay Area All-Star Teacher Program, recognizing that teachers do make a difference. The winner, he or she will win $20,000 for their school. So check it out. They need your vote. NBCSportsBayArea.com.
Here's Puig. Puig to lead things off. Swing and a miss. Puig struck out looking. Swing and a miss, nothing in 2. Struck out looking in the first inning. Tell you what, Matt Moore's been able to get 0-2 on a lot of these Dodgers. He did get it 0-2 on Seager when Seager hit the home run.
Ooh. You can look at the reaction from Matt Moore. He made the pitch, and that pitch has been called a strike a couple times. That's the thing about an umpire. If you call that strike, players, hitters, they want you to be consistent with it.
We called it on Puig the last time. And he gets him anyway. Let's check in with Amy G.
Okay, so I'm really excited about this, Dwayne and Mike, because one of the reasons AT&T Park is amazing is not only what you're seeing on the field, but what fans experience off the field, and the food is second to none. This is new here. It's called Cream, and it's Bay Area born. It's awesome ice cream squeezed in between freshly baked cookies. You can get all kinds of toppings. It's a must-see when you come to AT&T Park. I ordered one. Yeah, I did it. So I'm really excited to try it out. This is Gus, and I'm going to see if Gus might hook you guys up. But for fans, you have to come to Cream, Promenade Level, Section 130. A must visit. Wait a Mike.
Yeah, we met Gus beforehand. As this is going to be a tough play for somebody. And it's going to be Tomlinson coming out of nowhere to make the catch.
Well, he had to go a long way. You talk about the speed that Tomlinson has. You see it on the base pass. Well, here it gives you an opportunity to see how much range he has from the second base position. And that, folks, is a long way, all the way out to the Dodgers bullpen mound.
I think you play center field.
Oh, he could absolutely play center field.
All right, nice play. Here we go. Get there, kid. Perfect. Anyway, back to Gus.
Yeah, let's talk about ice cream.
Pretty awesome.
Enough for the pop-up.
We had some before the game. There's a high strike.
Take a look at from the splash cam. And you were looking at Buster Posey, and then all of a sudden, at the top of your screen, you see here comes Kelby Thompson, and lo and behold, he gets it done.
So I had the salted caramel with butter sugar cookies.
Well, those are the chocolate chip cookies. That's the French vanilla ice cream.
What did you have?
Well, I had that with caramel sauce. She went with the M&Ms.
I'm not shocked at all by that.
No. Well, they're good.
It was really good. I mean, it is something that if you're coming out to the park and you got a taste for a little dessert, that was good.
Well, and the cookies are warm on the ice cream. I mean, that's the kicker.
Gus did not give us the calorie intake. He said, we asked him, he said, not much.
Yeah, that's good enough for me.
Not much.
How many calories in this, Gus? Not many. Oh, good. I'll have one.
Austin Barnes waiting. Austin Barnes fouling.
Much better command of this cut fastball as the game is wore on. You get that ball in there nice. Remember, that's a pitch that he did not have when he was with the Tampa Bay Rays. It's a pitch he picked up here in San Francisco, and it has served him well.
And he got him, and that'll end the inning. Poured that one right in. 5 strikeouts now for Matt Moore. It'll be Belt, Nunez, and Posey. They're coming up. Repeat myself. He's got a chance.
NBC Sports Bay Area is brought to you by Kelly Moore Paints. Go where the pros go. Kelly Moore, the painter's paint store. By the Craftsman of Commerce at Pitney Bowes, helping U.S. online retailers expand globally. And by Provident Credit Union Super Reward Checking. We pay you.
Boy, some beautiful shots of the city. There's Coit Tower on a gorgeous day. The Dodgers are leading 1-0 in a first inning Corey Seager home run. Those shots make you realize how lucky we are to live where we do.
Well, it cannot possibly look any better than it does today.
Here's Belt, and Belt takes high. 1 ball and no strikes. Nunez. And then Posey. 2-0 to Belt.
See the infield play to pull, the outfield playing the other way.
Well, Belt knew he was going to get a fastball, and he was tardy. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike.
Dodgers, like a lot of teams, they will pound the strike zone with fastball when they have to make a get it in pitch to Belt.
Tight 3-1. Well, Belt now is back to where he was when it was 2-0. The 3-1 pitch to Belt. Belt goes the other way. I don't think I've ever seen him do that before, as he lines it into left field, a base hit.
Well, let's take a look at where the pitch was. Remember, he's got count leverage, and that's not a hanger. That's a little cut fastball at 94, outside corner at the knees, and just stays down. I mean, really uses the hands more than the lower body, but the foot gets down early. He's got balance, and look at the head stay still through the swing, and that's a great opposite field approach.
Yeah, easy for you to say. Here's Nunez.
Now don't get picked off.
No, don't get picked off. Thanks, Amy. Amy brought us some food.
So if it gets quiet up here, you know we're eating an ice cream sandwich.
Some food from Cream. Tardy, no balls and 1 strike.
Well, that swing right there had right field written all over it. And you always say to yourself, I'm going to wait a little bit longer. I want to take this ball the opposite way. And with a good fastball with a little deception on it, like Urias can give you, it can go right by you. Wait a little too long.
Posey waiting on deck. So this was the niceness of Amy G to bring us some food.
These are ridiculously good.
Out of play, nothing in 2. Nunez finds himself now no balls and 2 strikes. Giants with their leadoff hitter on for the 2nd inning in a row. See, on radio, you can do this, although it's Dave's inning to do play-by-play, so I'm sure John has shut it down. A little pop-up out of play.
And a man there making a play. A bit.
Dodger fans ended up with good seats. Oh, and 2. And this one should be playable. And it's going to be Van Slyke. And here's Buster Posey. Buster drew a walk in the 2nd inning.
A 12-game hit streak for him.
Down low. 370. Lifetime 0 for 3 against Julio Urias.
Having a little conversation with himself. Been very solid the outside side of the field against lefties.
And a strike. That'll even the count. Dodgers will head home. Giants will host the Padres starting tomorrow night. And then the Giants will see the Dodgers again Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday in Los Angeles. And Belt scurries back.
Well, there was a time when Belt had the green light. He could go anytime he got a good jump.
Yeah, then he went like 0 for 6
last year, and he hasn't had the green light since. But I do think that if he thinks he has a good tip on a pitcher going home, he can get a good jump.
Double play ball. And that'll end the inning. Wasted leadoff single for Belt. Through 4, 1-0. Dodgers. University night on May 12th. Giants and Reds. Your event package is going to include, of course, a ticket to the game and then a Santa Clara University Giants t-shirt. 415-972-2298. One nothing Dodgers. Swinging a pop-up out of play.
And Slack still looking to get his swing going. Hard thing to do when you're not an everyday player.
He's got lots of power. If he played every day, he could be a guy that hit 25.
Oh, easy.
Hooks this one. Belt over, and Belt makes the catch.
Nice play.
Yes, it was.
Because that nut was roasted. Talk about the power of Van Slyke, and that's no exaggeration. You can see how quickly this ball gets to Belt. And it's just a hard line drive. You don't get a lot of range with that type of line drive. Belt, good jump. Sweet spot.
He's a really good athlete.
He has a dream too, by the way. Brandon Belt, who came out of the University of Texas, he pitched there.
Yes, he did.
And he someday he wants to be able to come into a game, you know, one of those 21-2 games.
I don't know. I think he wants to come into a real game.
Well, he wants to pitch, though.
Bellinger struck out in the second. Moore's pitch is in the dirt. Swings hard, and he does not take a little out of his swing once he gets 2 strikes on him. That does not happen.
It's wheel and fire. Just trying to cut that inside corner just a bit low. You know, it's one of those things that young hitters, when they get to the big leagues, I mean, they want to bring their abilities up here, but you still have to make adjustments up here because of what you see. You don't see anywhere else. You see guys in the minor league throw just as hard, have just as hard breaking balls, but they don't have quite the command. They're not as experienced to read hitters as pitchers are up here to take advantage of your weaknesses.
It's hit on the ground, foul.
Oh, our ball dude. Nick Dewyer. Job well done.
Did he catch it?
No.
Well then, you know what? I think he planned this, don't you?
Oh, he was going to dive if it hit off the wall in center.
So Moore will be disappointed with that.
Yeah, you get a guy left-handed hitting off a left-handed pitcher, and he has a 1-2 count on you. Wind up with a walk, you're not happy. So it sets up a bunt situation for Urias.
Urias hit one back to Matt Moore. And he bunts it foul. Urias had every intention of hanging in there, and then his rear end started to leave a little bit.
Well, that's the part of your body that gets a little leaky when you have somebody throwing breaking balls at your right side if you're hitting left-handed off a left-handed pitcher.
0-2. This will be pitch number 74. And they get the out at first. So took him a little while, but Urias gets the job done. So you got to retire Hernandez. You don't want that walk to hurt you. Hernandez has popped out and he's bounced out to third. First pitch strike, and it's 0-1.
See that rosin and the pine tar going up just about almost the top of the label. You can go 18 inches from the knob of the bat up the bat with your pine tar. So I have to say that's a violation.
Fastball high.
I don't think you'll ever see anybody contest it unless it gets up there towards the sweet spot of the bat. Which, at one point, a lot of guys did.
And a slow roller foul.
Yeah, back in the 20s and the 30s, I mean, it was all-star, anything goes. You could do pretty much what you want. You could groove your bat in the up around the sweet spot. You could put pine tar up there. If you caught the ball, you get more backspin with it because of the stickum. Then the guys on the mound, I mean, they were worse. I mean, you could spit into your hand, bring slippery elm, put it on your fingertips, put jelly, Vaseline, whatever you wanted. And then they kind of cleaned it up.
Well, yeah, if that was going to continue, it was going to get bad.
But I like it. There was a pitcher, Burley Grimes, who had a great spitball. And when they enforced the rule or made the rule, they said they grandfathered him in. Said, well, everybody, you know, from now on, Burley Grimes, I mean, he's fine. We can't take money out of that man's mouth.
Two and two. And he got him. And that'll end the inning. Keeping an eye on Hernandez is Kerwin Danley.
presented by the authority of the San Francisco Giants and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of San Francisco Giants Baseball Club, LLC.
Well, Bay Area Sports Talk just got a bit more interesting. Check out the Happy Hour with Greg Papa, Ray Ratto, and Kelly Johnson weekdays on NBC Sports Bay Area. Totally recommend it. 2 thumbs up. Very entertaining. The Happy Hour.
Here's Arroyo, who takes the first pitch down low. Arroyo singled in his only other at bat, and here he rolls it foul.
Seen a lot of off-speed stuff, which is understandable. A lot of off-speed stuff and fastball counts.
Outside corner, 1-2.
Back to that, another changeup. Changeup that Urias throws got a little tail that has a little leak away from right-handed hitters. And the last one on the outside corner was perfect. Sets up hard stuff in.
Hundley and then Tomlinson. Look out.
Hard stuff in, soft stuff away. Kind of put you in a rocking chair. Bend you back, lean you forward, bend you back, lean you forward.
Line drive. Caught by Hernandez.
Good solid at bat. Tell you what, I look forward to his at bats now.
Yes, I do. Here's Hundley. Hundley just got underneath the pitch and popped out in the second. This will be pitch number 58 for this Dodger lefty. He's going to be pretty good.
Yeah, oh yeah. Urias, he's going to be real good. Remember, he's 20 years old. And they brought him along. I mean, they've been very conscious of the workload of innings on his arm. And he's been brought down, sent back, brought down, sent back. I mean, this may be the last that he has to worry about getting sit down. But it is a lot to ask of a 20-year-old kid to learn how to pitch up here. Just so many things he doesn't know yet. But one thing he has is good stuff. I mean, he has the type of stuff that he can outstuff you for 3 at-bats. Where he's going to get better is when he truly understands how to use a fastball, the different grips, the different locations of the strike zone with the fastball, how to change grips on a changeup. Come up with a cutter.
On the ground to third for Turner.
All right, time now for the Smart Play. It's brought to you by your California Ford dealers. And Kelby Tomlinson, the running catch off the bat of Chris Taylor in the 4th inning on this pop-up. We're going to make this the Smart Play. Tomlinson has to run a long way, makes a tough play look rather routine. Smart Play brought to you by your California Ford dealers.
And a ball to Tomlinson, who hit into a double play in the 2nd inning. Into center field and a base hit.
take a look at the pitch. Not a hanger. I mean, down below the strike zone. And Tomlinson just getting a piece of it. That is a changeup. And Tomlinson manages to extend out. Serves it right out to center field.
Giving Rockies Hernandez a shot here with 2 outs in the 5th. Hernandez hit a pop-up that Seager really made a nice running catch on with his back to the infield. And he takes high a ball and no strikes.
You know, it's not really a steal situation with a pitcher on deck. This is one of the differences between the National League and the American League. 7th place hitter with good speed gets on base. You're not going to see him off and go, because if he steals a base, they're going to walk the 8th place hitter to face the pitcher who's not a very good hitting pitcher.
There's a strike.
So, I mean, I always thought that was one reason why you didn't want to put a guy with great speed in the 7th hole.
So your suggestion, put a slug hitting 7th.
Well, yeah, banger. A Michael Morse type guy.
Very close. They're going to look at it. Or at least the Dodgers are.
Todd Tichenor, the first base umpire, and he wasn't even leaning. No, they will not review that. They were just giving the guy in the clubhouse something to do.
That was a waste of time.
Yeah, that was a waste of time.
One and two.
That's where they want to heat Hernandez up. They want to go right above the hands inside corner. And with Urias, he can put a little cut on that movement. It's a tough pitch.
One and two to Gorkis Hernandez with 2 outs here in the 5th. And he takes it high, 2 and 2.
Trying to go right back up there in the same spot. I mean, they think they have a 2-pitch weakness or above the hands of Gorkis Hernandez. And one thing the Dodgers have done in this series, if they think they have an advantage on the guy, they don't go anywhere else. They just keep pounding that spot. So now if Hernandez could find a gap with a 3-2 2-out situation and Kelby Tomlinson get the 2-out jump, an opportunity to score here.
Looking for a ball in the gap. Takes a healthy rip and he fouls it back. It's a 93-mile-an-hour fastball.
Pitch number 70 from Urias. Pitch count not really a factor today. He want to be 75 or less after the 5th inning. So he's right about where he should be.
And another payoff. Here it is to Hernandez. And he walked it.
It's good at bat. Good at bat because he was down the count to him. He milks a walk. And it also allows Matt Moore a chance to hit this inning.
Yeah, plus he's due.
He's overdue.
Moore struck out in the third. And he rolls this one foul, and it's 0-1.
That's a better hack.
He could dump one over Van Slyke's head where Puig's playing. He could run forever.
Well, you can see the right side. I mean, it's wide open, as we so often see here as teams defend the gap in right center and give the lines. But right now, we're just hoping for contact.
Contact would be good. Lined. Side retired. Giants strand a pair. 6th inning coming up.
In the Netherlands, and it's King's Day right here at AT&T Park. The Giants enlisting some help from Sir Hensley Bam Bam Mullins and Kenley Jansen of the Dodgers, both of them from the Netherlands. They were on an on-field pregame ceremony, giving a signed ball and jersey to the General Consul, Consul General of the Netherlands. Now, here's some cool tidbits. Orange, guys, the color of the Netherlands, the national color. And King's Day is celebrating King Alexander's birthday, so it always falls on his birthday. So happy birthday to him. And Dwayne, you should really be enjoying this day, because as your dad says, if you're not Dutch, you're not much.
If you ain't Dutch, you ain't much. Thanks, Amy.
Well, she had to say it in proper English.
Yeah, that's true. Well, my dad didn't, and still doesn't to this day.
So if you ain't Dutch, you ain't much,
baby. Here's Seager.
You're such a shoe.
Seager is homered and walked. And he ropes this one right at Tomlinson. 1 out. Some balls hit hard here this, well, last half inning and now this half inning. Here's Turner.
When John Vanderwall used to play with the Giants, we'd go into New York one time, and John Vanderwall's dad was there. Will Vanderwall was Dutch. My partner, Dwayne Kuiper, and our producer, Jeff Kuiper, Dutch. So we walk out of the Grand Hyatt in New York on 42nd Street, and John Vanderwall says to Kuip, "Hey, you're a shoe, aren't you?"
No clue. No clue what he was talking about.
A what? You're a shoe. What's a shoe? Well, I mean, the Netherlands, the wooden clogs, and the Dutch people were referred to as shoes, which made you smile.
Made me smile.
Have you got a pair of those clogs, by the way?
I think we do somewhere. I think my mom put a plant in each one.
Well, I think my mom had a wooden shoe ashtray.
1 ball and 1 strike to Justin Turner.
She had an ashtray in every room.
Yeah. Driven to right. Hunter Pence. 2 down. And here's Puig. Puig has struck out twice. And a strike, and it's 0-1.
That's the side of the plate that I don't think Kerwin Danley can win. If it gets called a strike, he ticks off Puig. If it doesn't, it ticks off Moore.
Line to belt. Like I said, a lot of balls hit hard over the last 15 minutes. Top of the order coming up.
NBC Sports Bay Area is brought to you by the all-new 2017 Chrysler Pacifica. By AAA. Get a free Giants welcome mat. Restrictions apply. Go to AAA.com/Giants or to a AAA branch for details. By Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. By State Farm. Combine auto and renters and see how much you can save. Talk to an agent today. By Heffernan Insurance Brokers. Insurance and financial services for you and your business. Visit hefins.com. By Amici's East Coast Pizzeria. When you want the best pizza in town, Amici's delivers.
Pence takes high. 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 in favor of the Dodgers here in the 6th inning. Pence, Belt, Nunez, Posey, Arroyo. And there's a strike. Hunter Pence fan. 1 ball and 1 strike. Rolls it foul. It's 1-2.
Giants trying to pick up Matt Moore. Matt Moore has given up 1 hit through 6 innings. That 1 hit and 0-2 home run to Corey Seager with 1 out in the 1st. I can guarantee somebody in the Giants dugouts going up and down saying, let's get him some runs.
Two and 2 to Hunter Pence. Pence bounced out to second and then struck out in the 3rd. It's this one right back to Arias for out number 1. Well, on Saturday, the 29th, the first 20,000 fans, they're going to receive a 2 flaps down hat presented by River Rock Casino. Giants Padres at 6:05. sfgiants.com/tickets. 1 out. Here's Belt. Belt is 1 for 2. Belt takes low. He slashed a single to the opposite field in the 4th inning.
Giants as a team this year have hit 15 home runs. That ranks them 15th in the National League.
Up high, 2-0.
Urias wanted that one. The team that leads the National League in home runs, Milwaukee, with 40.
Nope, 3-0 to Belt. Belt hit a home run off of Urias last year.
Breaking ball down and in. I think this was early in the game.
So a 4-pitch walk with Nunez coming up.
It all started with a walk.
And a lot of times with Belt it does. Nunez is 0 for 3. Nunez does not have a hit on this homestand. He's now 0 for 13. And he takes a strike.
Nunez got off to a great start. Had a nice swing coming out of camp. And usually when he starts to get into a bit of a funk, he starts going out of the strike zone. You say that about a lot of guys, but it really is true with Nunez. He really becomes aggressive.
So 1 ball and 1 strike. One ball, 1 strike. Bullpens are quiet. 84 pitches for Urias. And tight, 2-1.
It's pretty easy takes. When you have an aggressive swinger, I mean, you want to go out of the strike zone with your stuff. You want him to chase, but I mean, you don't want to be having him play dodgeball up there because you're not going to get a swing out of that if a guy's worried about getting hit in the foot.
See what Nunez gets here. It's 2-1. Down the left field line, foul.
Broken bat. Got a man making a play. Yep. There's a good picture. Oh, wait.
Look, he's going to throw a split.
Smile, hun.
2 balls and 2 strikes. And another check on Belt, and he throws it away. And Belt be able to run for a while. And he hits the bag at second. And he is on his way to third. What a mistake. It's a mistake because Belt's not going anywhere.
Now it's his #1 move, and he completely one-hops Van Slyke. And once it gets past Van Slyke, where Puig was playing, protecting the gap in right center, nobody down the right field side. And that's a two-base mistake. And a one-run ball game, it sets up a runner at third and less than 2 outs. This is a huge opportunity for the Giants.
Now the Dodgers do have activity in the bullpen. It's a 3-2 count. Check that. It's 2-2 to Nunez. An opportunity now to tie the game up by making it out. And he got him. Really important to get the ball in play, and Nunez couldn't do it, and now it's Buster Posey.
Well, and Urias, who's been a strikeout guy since he's come into the professional ranks, immediately got locked into the strikeout mode, and he gets it. And he gets it by getting Nunez to go out of the strike zone. So 4 strikeout for Urias, and none bigger than this one.
So Posey's going to be walked intentionally. And they want to face the kid. And the Royals hit the ball hard twice, so here we go.
He's seen him well. You're absolutely right. See Josh Fields, Mrs. Fields' son, getting loose down in the Dodger bullpen. And the Arroyo family has their fingers crossed.
So Belt at third, Posey at first. And a strike, and it's 0-1.
Cut fastball on the outside corner at 94. Perfect pitch. Arroyo will use the right side of the field. He hits it all over.
Nope. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Guys just trying to go right back on that side of the plate with hard stuff.
Base hit. Game tie.
And Christian Arroyo takes the challenge. And that's how you make a name for yourself. A breaking ball, he waits for it, right back up the middle. It almost knocks the glove off of Urias. A money hit, and we got a brand new ball game. And that's going to be it for Urias.
When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and repair experts. We'll be back.
On the go this season, you can stream every NBC Sports Bay Area Giants broadcast on your desktop or mobile device. Go to Giants Games Streamed and go to the NBC Sports app is where you get it. It's very cool. New pitcher now for the Dodgers will be the right-hander Josh Fields. This is the 8th game that he's come into, and look at those numbers. He is having a great start. 5 base runners allowed in 5 1/3 with 11 strikeouts against 1 walk. How's he do it? With a mid-90s fastball and a big, hard curveball.
Posey at second, Arroyo at first. And a breaking ball, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Giants have tied it up here in the 6th, the help of a couple of walks, an error, and a 2-out base hit by the kid. Popped him up. This could very well end the inning, and it does. So Giants tie it up, and ended up laying in the lap of Christian Arroyo, and he singles off the glove of Arias. Giants tie it up. And now we will head to the 7th. It's 1-1. Game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Good pitching matchup today. Moore, Arias. It's a tie game. Seager's got a solo home run, and Christian Arroyo's got the 2-out RBI hit to tie the game. And here in the 7th inning, it'll be Taylor, Barnes, and Van Slyke to face Matt Moore, who has thrown 85 pitches.
Matt Moore with a reprieve. I mean, you're trailing this ball game 1-0. You're kind of wondering, is the offense going to pick me up? And they just did. So now, in his mind, brand new ball game. And the first guy you face, this is a big out for Matt Moore to get for a lot of reasons. But you want to get your offense back in the dugout. You want that shutdown inning.
Hit on the ground, and that's going to be a base hit. So count leverage for Taylor, and he took advantage of it. Let's check in with Amy G.
All right, gentlemen. Well, the Posies are continuing with their mission and their passion to bring awareness and raise money for pediatric cancer research. They recently visited the UCSF Benioff Children's Hospital and saw some patients, and they visited the playroom. I talked with Kristen a little bit, and she said in some of these photos you can see Buster's playing hide and seek with one of the kids, and she said that's the Buster that she knows. Of course, we get to know him here at the ballpark where it's all business, but he is pretty fun with these kids. She said the best part about what they're doing is that they're able to provide provide a temporary distraction for these kids who are in the battle for their lives. It's pretty amazing. You can find out more information at BusterPoseyOfficial.com, guys.
Yeah, good stuff. Buster and Christian do a great job in the community. And hey, if you can distract a little kid while he's ill for 5 minutes, you're doing a good thing.
Indeed.
0-1 to Austin Barnes. That off the shin guard, I think, of Hundley. It's 0-2.
Man, they caught a little mask on that one.
It did.
Hundley last year with the Rockies, he got hit in the mask and he had to go on the concussion DL. So let's see where it gets him.
Right in the middle of the mask.
It rocked him a little bit.
I think, you know, look, you're okay. You're just fearful that the next one's going to get you soon. That's the one you worry about.
We saw it happen with Mike Matheny, where he took 3 in a series and never came back. So we are a little sensitive about it.
Day baseball for the Rockies isn't going so good. The Nationals just scored 11 runs in the 7th inning.
Yeah, it was a 4-2 ball game going into the 7th.
Look out. 1-2.
That's the last thing he wants to do is hit him when he's on top of him 0-2. And there's the score now because of the 11-run top of the 7th. Coors Field is playing very much like Coors Field.
Yeah, I think the humidor's on the blink, to be honest with you.
They need to change the filter or something.
Down to second, and it's not in time. Nunez made a nice effort on a throw in the dirt.
Well, the Giants will look at this. It looked like almost a delayed steal. Hundley was off balance when he makes the throw, and this is really a tremendous effort for him to even make it close. Ooh, I don't know.
Is it worth the risk? You got to make a decision pretty soon.
You got 30 seconds.
I think he's out.
I do too. And apparently the Giants are not going to gamble it.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Tapped. Nunez get the out there, and on the play Taylor goes to third.
And this is why the Giants declined it. It was just bang bang. I mean, it looked like it could have been a tie. Not enough there to convince Sean Dunston and Chad Chop in the Giants clubhouse that it was worth the gamble.
Giants will play the infield in.
Well, you're going to get Matt Moore, who's a strikeout pitcher. You're going to get his #1 effort to try and get Van Slyke on a K.
And Van Slyke will get after you early.
Saw Luis Avilan, the left-hander, the only left-hander in the Dodgers bullpen, head down to their bullpen.
Outside.
George Contos on the left, Stephen Okert on the right.
A strike.
Not giving in to the fastball count at a 2-0.
Well, you got a guy that strikes out a lot on deck.
Oh, good pitch. Matt Moore flinching a little bit. He wanted that one. Now the point you make about the guy who strikes out a lot on deck, which means that Moore should stay on the corner here. He's got some bases to play with.
Absolutely. Timeout is called. Now this is not a time to give in. 3-1.
The Dodgers only have one right-handed bat on the bench, and that's Yasmani Grandal, who's a switch hitter. Everybody else is a lefty.
3-2. Here's the payoff. Got him.
Change up, and Van Slyke cannot pull the trigger. He thought it was high.
A high changeup.
And what a big strikeout for Matt Moore, who did not get the corner pitches on the knees, but he gets one at the belt. And Van Slyke can't believe it. That's 7 strikeouts now for Matt Moore. 5 of those strikeouts have been called strike threes. Take a look at everything away, 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 and the payoff pitch. That's a gift.
Here's Bellinger. 1 ball and no strikes. And that was pitch number 100.
Now look, by definition of the strike zone, it's the high point of the strike zone is between your belt and the letters on your chest. Ooh.
So what, you split it right down the middle?
You find the midpoint.
That's the true definition.
Yeah, but I think I may be wrong with that. I think it's the shoulders. So it's the midpoint between your shoulders and the top of your belt. So by definition of the rule book, that's a strike.
Way inside. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Adrian Gonzalez has grabbed a bat, so he's on deck. It's 2-1 to Bellinger. 2-2.
There's not a veteran pitcher on this planet who doesn't think he has an advantage against a young hitter.
Got him.
Wow.
What a job by Matt Moore, pitching through a man on third and less than 2 outs. It'll be Tomlinson, Hernandez, and Moore coming up.
break brought to you by T-Mobile. Here are tomorrow's scheduled starters. For the Padres, it's going to be Luis Perdomo taking on Jeff Samardzija. And both pitchers looking for their first win of the 2017 campaign. And that's our Unlimited Baseball break brought to you by T-Mobile.
Good ball game here at AT&T Park. Another low-scoring game. And for the Giants, it'll be Colby Tomlinson to lead things off.
That's a Giants party dress.
Facing Josh Fields. High fly ball to Puig and right. And Puig puts it away. One pitch went out. And here's Rookie Hernandez. It appears that Matt Moore's afternoon is over with Connor Gillespie coming out.
Well, 2 hits allowed. 1 run and 0-2 home run in the first inning. I mean, he was spectacular today. Did his job.
Hernandez is popped out and he's walked.
Ooh, I do not know how that did not hit him. And I think Gorkis Hernandez is thinking the same thing. This is a heat seeker at 93, right under the chin. By the way, just to clean that thing up out of the official strike zone, it's from the top of the shoulders to the top of the belt. You find a midpoint between those two and the hollow beneath the kneecap. That's the strike zone. That's a lot of strike zone. You don't see many pitches called across the letters, and by definition, that's the midpoint.
So you want to mention that to Van Slyke?
Yeah. What are you moaning about?
1-2. This is just fastball. Here it comes.
Well, I don't see the Dodgers changing their whole philosophy against him on this pitch either. If the guy's going to keep swinging at that high fastball on his hands inside, keep throwing it. I like that.
Well, this is the only shot that Matt Moore has on picking up a decision. Two and two. And a full count.
And now it's a little different. Now with a 3-2 count, you got to think about the strike zone here if you're Josh Fields. Don't like that. Take a look at the pitches to Bellinger. He stayed on that inside corner. If a guy's going to get on top of the plate, you're going to pound the hands. And the payoff pitch was on the outside corner. And look at the result when Moore got back to the Giants dugout. That's a hero's welcome.
We have a double switch. As Dave Roberts is going out to Kerwin Danley. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and repair experts. We'll be back. Baseball Live with the MLB.com at-bat mobile app. Stay connected with Giants' best players all season long with game day, live game video, highlights, radio broadcast, stats, news, and more. You can download MLB.com at-bat today. It's the #1 app for live baseball. So we got a new pitcher.
New pitcher now for the Dodgers will be the only lefty in their bullpen. Will be Luis Avilan. He's got a low to mid-90s fastball with 2 types of fastball movement, a curveball and a slider, or a curveball and a changeup rather. 7 strikeouts in 5 2/3. He's throwing with confidence right now.
In tight. Hunter Pence to follow. There's Tolles, who goes in on the double switch to play left field. He will lead off the top of the 8th inning. Overshift is on for Gillespie, and this is tap foul off his foot, and we'll do it again. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Only 6 hits in the game. The Giants with 4 of those hits. The Dodgers with just 2, and one of those was a home run in the 1st inning off the bat of Corey Seager. And that's how the Dodgers picked up their only run. 1-2 on a pitch down and in.
Good changeup.
Beautiful day here on the Bay.
Or
out in the Bay. Better in here.
I'm thinking this is pretty tough to beat.
Yeah, I agree.
Water's not a bad option either.
2 balls, 2 strikes. See, I think that's why John likes cruise ships. I think he thinks this is a big cruise ship.
Well, so close to the water.
Yeah.
For those of you who may not know it, John Miller, our partner, in the offseason, he'll take 2 or 3 cruises with his wife Janine. They go all over the world. He loves the water. So for having this ballpark where you can look out on the bay, that is therapy for our partner. And other people too, actually.
2-2. Breaks his bat on the ground to Van Slyke, and that'll end the inning. So through 7, it's a 1-1 ball game. Tolles to lead it off. Brought in a new pitcher. It's George Contos. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and repair experts.
George Contos has been a workhorse. 11th time that he has come in for Bruce Bochy, whittling his ERA down. Now it's in the 5s. Had one really bad outing, and that's it. 7 strikeouts in 7 innings.
So you see Tolles coming up. Well, in our booth now with us is President, Chief Executive Officer Larry Baer. And Larry, this is a big day. It's a big day. It's not just Giants Dodgers. What do you got for us?
Well, between innings, everybody here saw an attendance announcement of 41,580, which was our 500th consecutive sellout.
Unbelievable.
And it's just such an incredible credit to our fans. The fan base has been, among the best fan base, not just in Major League Baseball, but in all of professional sports. And we've had this goes back to 2011, so we've had some great years, but we've also some lean times, long losing streaks, whatever. The fans have been amazing, and you ask the players, it makes a difference. Also want to salute the men and women of the Giants front office, because it doesn't happen just by flipping a switch. As you guys know, there are people that Russ Stanley and Mario Alioto and the group, Jerry Drobny. I mean, it's just an incredible group. Jeff Tucker, where they have a group of season ticket salespeople, group salespeople. They have folks that are making sure that everybody, there's Russ, that everybody is well taken care of who have season tickets. And really, I have to say, not to get too granular on the ticket sales business, but without 31,000 season ticket holders, you don't have sellouts every night. And they've been able to create this incredible loyal base, being able to reach out to these amazing fans, and we have 31,000 season ticket holders.
1-2 to Tolles as we open up the 8th inning. Cantos with Kike Hernandez to follow. And the pitch, so going to foul out of play. All those people you mentioned, I think Mike and I get texts from them every morning before the morning show as to how close we are to a sellout.
Are you ever asked to promote anything around here?
No, of course not.
No, we wouldn't do that.
You guys are great. I mean, it really is. It's the greater Giants family. You guys and John and Dave and Jeff and Jim in the booth. I mean, it's really just being able to show what Giants baseball is here at this ballpark.
There's a foul off of Tolles' foot.
Did you ever think, I mean, you were some of the lead times back at Candlestick, sellouts were few and far between. Did you ever think you'd see 500? That's a National League record.
I have to say, Mike, it's so incredible. People said when we acquired the team in '93, they asked the question, is it a baseball town? And some folks said, is it really a baseball town? Will you get people on Monday night in April? Well, we had a Monday night in April about, 4 nights ago, and the place was packed. So it's incredible. It was Gary Radnich Monday night against Montreal. It's nice you're building a ballpark, but you'll have 8,200 Monday night against Montreal. Well, you can't have 8,200 fans if you have 31,000 season ticket holders, and it's a credit to everybody. And I just want to say thank you. I mean, we don't want to sit here and pound our chest. What we want to do is say thank you to our fans, and let's have another 500.
Hey, it helped pay the mortgage, didn't it?
We have a mortgage burning brush fire, I think, somewhere going right now. We had it was kind of cool. Russ and group put together a program to give away pins to everybody.
All right, let's hear Rennell as she made the announcement.
Fans, today's attendance is 41,580, and we have just officially marked our 500th consecutive regular season sellout here at AT&T Park. And fans, this is a record high sellout streak for a National League team and the second longest in Major League Baseball history.
All right, well done, Rennell. Here's Hernandez. So well said. And hey, we come here now, and it seems like this is maybe our 3rd or 4th year here. It's hard to imagine we've been here this long.
This is the 18th year of our new ballpark. Our new ballpark. And it's not just the streak. I mean, if you really go back to day one, we have about the same number of season ticket holders. We opened the ballpark in 2000 with 29,000 season ticket holders. We're at 31,000. That number's remained constant. And then just overall, let's see here, 15 out of the 17 years we've had over 3 million fans. So it's been fantastic. And I just want the fans own it. They've done it. got the ballpark built privately because the fans supported it. And that's kind of what it's all about. The team obviously is a huge part of it. Bruce Bochy, Brian Sabian, Bobby Evans. It's been a group effort.
Posey keeps his foot on the bag.
Well, what's happened along the way is the culture that's within this ballpark. It really does have a feeling like it's a family reunion every day. Everybody comes in with the most incredible attitude. Even on days when we have games that are not that dramatic, we always go up in the stands and it's entertaining and fun.
And you know who my favorite people are? I was just talking to Michelle, a guest services person in section 121. And Michelle she doesn't have a bad day. She doesn't go 0 for 4, ever. Her ERA is 0.00. It's perfect because she's saying hi to people, and multiply Michelle by several hundred other people in the ballpark at any other time, in guest services and security and concessions. And we have a little gathering with them actually on opening day every year, and we say very few people are going to see Bobby Evans or Larry Baer or Brian Sabian or Mario Alioto, but everybody sees you. And the courtesy and the friendliness. Yep. They go to the life events of people that sit in their section, weddings, bar mitzvahs.
Side retired, Mr. Baer. Thank you very much.
Congratulations,
for a
guys.
lot of things. Thank you. Customers say a lot of things. One of them is show me sports in your remote and get live game stats, up to the minute scores and standings right on your TV. Change the way you experience sports with Xfinity X1. People yell, more of Kruk.
Yeah, they do.
Pence takes low, 1 ball and no strikes. Well, Mr. Baer stopping by with good news. 1-0 to Hunter Pence. 1 ball and 1 strike.
That's a good curveball on a 1-0 count. Hunter Pence has been in the swing mode this whole series with the Dodgers.
He has indeed. On the ground towards the hole and a base hit. Pence is aboard to lead off the 8th inning.
Well, you can't get a win or a base hit if you don't swing. And this is not a hanger. I mean, he's staying down below, and this is right down below the strike zone. And I'm not talking about an inch, a bunch. If you're Luis Avilan, you're thinking, what do I have to do?
What a stupid pitch I just threw. So here's Belt. Belt is going to hit. Overshift is on.
But they respect the bunt possibility. Look at where shortstop Corey Seager is. I've never seen this.
And a strike to Belt.
I mean, I wonder if you get a defensive set like the Dodgers just put on Belt, if he's thinking about it in the box.
Oh, yeah, guys right down your throat like that.
Now, that's Justin Turner, the third baseman, playing on the right side of the infield. But the shortstop and Seager
just moved back.
I've never seen this.
In the dirt to Belt. 1 ball and 1 strike.
But if you're Dave Roberts, the Dodgers skipper, I mean, you can't give 90 feet with a bunt that would put a runner in scoring position and set up a no-out scenario.
Look, if you're playing 3 guys on the right side, you don't think Belt's going to hit one on the ground anyway.
No.
So it doesn't matter where you play Seager. You might as well play him in, take away the thought of a bunt. And this one is hit right back to where it came from. That's 1, and then Belt will beat it out.
So it goes 1-4.
So Belt replaces Pence on the bases, and here's Nunez. Nunez is 0 for 3. And as I mentioned earlier, doesn't have a hit on this homestand. Mr. Posey on deck. Now Nunez asks for time.
Well, it's worse than that. I mean, it's 0 for 19 now. It goes back into Colorado. Now would be a good time to break out.
On the ground, and it's off the glove, and Belt is going to stop at second. There you go.
Waits well on the breaking ball right at the base of the zone. Again, not a hanger from Avilan. And the ball just off the tip of the glove of Justin Turner. That ball was absolutely killed. I thought once it hit the glove and the speed of the ball kind of got deadened, that perhaps you might have an opportunity for Belt to go to third base, but Andrew Tolles made a very good play in left field, coming in hard to prevent that. Justin Turner catches that ball. That's the easiest double play of the week. But now Buster Posey gets a chance to hit with a runner in scoring position.
Well, they got a righty up.
I'm surprised at this. I really am.
Swing and then a miss. No balls and 1 strike.
Dodgers have Chris Hatcher, the right-hander. I mean, he's greased and good to go in their bullpen. But Dave Roberts saying, you know what? Avilan's been throwing good.
Yep.
He's my guy.
Nice block. 1 ball and 1 strike. Belt at second. Nunez at first. Melanson in the bullpen getting loose. On deck is Christian Arroyo.
Got an average arm in left field with Andrew Tolles, above average arm in right field or in center field with Kike Hernandez, and one of the best arms in baseball in right.
Double play ball. And that'll go 6-4-3, and that'll end the inning. So we'll head to the 9th inning. It remains 1-1. Yeah, here it's a 1-1 ball game as we go to the 9th. When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your oil change tune-up and repair experts.
Giants closer Mark Melanson coming in. This is the 8th time that he has come in. 7 strikeouts in 6 2/3. You're going to see if he throws a straight fastball at you, he can go mid-90s with it. You're going to see a lot of cuts, a lower 90-mile-an-hour pitch, and then a right over the top curveball. High 3/4 release. Really starting to settle in, find a good rhythm. Feeling like he's been a Giants player for a long time now. It's that comfort zone you hope new guys find early, and he has.
It's Turner, Puig, and Taylor. Turner's 0 for 2. One ball and no strikes. Moore, Contos, and now Melanson. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike. Out of play, deep in center field is Hernandez. Everybody else pretty much straight away. Gives you an idea how the Giants think Turner hits the ball. He hits the ball all over.
Good bat control hitter. Last year, 27 home runs. Highest that he has ever hit in a year. It was his career year last year for a lot of reasons.
And he got him.
Justin Turner thinking that was a bit outside. Let's take a look at. They stayed away with cut, and in the end they get a little bit of a gift.
So here's Puig. Bounces this one to Nunez. He gets a big hop. And Buster Posey with the pick of the year.
Well, when you don't play a lot of first base, the one you don't want to try and catch is the high hop that comes up to your backhand. And that's exactly what Posey gets. And that is a great wrestle job. And he totally picks up Eduardo Nunez, who Nunez, after the play, tipped his cap to Posey because he knows that Posey just saved him an error. And Melanson going, oh, yeah.
So here's Taylor. Taylor takes a pitch just wide. On the bench,
Michael Morse, last night's hero.
And a strike. Out of play, it's 1 and 2.
I mean, those cutters at 91 are absolutely perfect. on the outside corner. And what we've seen from Melanson when he left spring training, and he had a very good spring training. And this is perfect location. He started the season, he had a hard time getting down in the strike zone. He had a lot of pitches up. They all had movement on it, but they weren't where he is now. Where he is now is that he's finding the knees. He's finding that outside corner with consistency. And that's where he wants to be.
It's 1-2. And on a curveball, he got him. And that's going to end the inning. The kid to lead things off, then Hundley, Tomlinson, and others. That'll be tomorrow night at 7 p.m. An hour-long pregame show will start at 6 right here on NBC Sports Bay Area. You can also this season stream Giants games on NBC Sports app for up to the minute Giants news. You can log on to NBCSportsBayArea.com for insider Alex Pavlovich. We have a new pitcher, Mike.
Well, the new pitcher is going to be the closer for the Dodgers, Kenley Jansen. Let's take a look at what he has done. 10 strikeouts and 7 1/3, no walks, 7 hits allowed, and you're going to see a lot of cutters, just like what you saw with Mark Melanson. Jansen will throw a few more fastballs, and he can go mid to high 90s with velocity in the fastball. His cut will be right around 90, 93.
And a strike to Arroyo, who knocked in the tying run with a 2-out base hit in the 6th. He's 2 for 3. His other at bat was a line drive right at Kike Hernandez in center field.
Think right field if you're a right-handed hitter hitting off Jansen.
Pretty good rip. It's nothing in 2.
I think he's built for the high pitch. You know, you watch it a lot in spring training, as I did, and really the way that he covers the pitch above the belt was reminiscent of the way that Jeff Kent would hit it. And he is a gap-to-gap guy. There's a lot of balls middle away to right field.
And that 93-mile-an-hour fastball high. It's 1-2. Hundley, then Tomlinson. Outside, 2-2.
Oh, there's a breaking ball. That looked like a curveball. He's got a curveball. I mean, that's a good one right there. He thought he had strike 3. He missed just a little bit away, maybe an inch or 2. And you're not thinking about a curveball when you're taking your at-bats against Jansen. I mean, you're just not.
Two pitch coming up. Out of play.
Fouled off a perfect pitch at 95. Cut at the knees, outside corner.
Waiting in the wings, Joe Panik, Morse, Stubbs going to the bat rack. It's 2-2. Out of play.
With the late movement that Jansen gives you, it's just so hard to barrel the ball in the sweet spot of that bat.
And another 2-2 pitch coming up. Foul back.
Yeah, the kid's giving him a battle for not having a whole lot of experience against him. I mean, he's hanging in there against swing and miss stuff. 94-mile-an-hour cut. Even pitcher where you think, well, that's a hanger. Because of that little 3-inch slide that he gets at the end of his pitch, still not an easy pitch to barrel.
Got him. He gave a little bit of a quick pitch. Here's Hundley.
A little cut at 95 above the strike zone. See the cut action, just not a big movement. It doesn't have to be at that velocity. If you can get 3 to 4 inches of slide on it, run that movement flat away from a righty into a lefty, you're going to do well.
Here's Hundley, who's 0 for 3. Hundley trying to knock one out. It's no balls and 1 strike.
Kenley Jansen was such an unlikely story. I mean, he got into professional baseball. He was a catcher. Had a great arm, too hard. They put him a toe plate on him and says, go out there and pitch. And he comes up with this high velocity cut. And has risen to be one of the elite closers in all of baseball, not just the National League.
Hundley 0 for 7, 7 strikeouts.
Well, he's due then.
That's Onage.
Yeah, that's Onage. When you find out a stat like that, and then you say, well, how many pitches did he throw in those 7 at-bats?
Pop foul and out of play. Hundley goes around, 2 down. And that'll bring up Tomlinson. You have Okert and Guerin in the bullpen. Tomlinson 1 for 3. And he takes a strike, and it's 0-1. And a high fastball to even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Seager a home run in the first. That's it for the Dodgers. Arroyo an RBI single in the 6th. That's it for the Giants. 1-2.
Jansen has brought in about as much nastiness as he has into this outing. And he gets a lot of swing and misses.
Off just a little bit the other night. And the Giants couldn't take advantage of it.
Yeah, there's a true heart.
One and two.
It wasn't Brian Wilson, was it?
It was not. Missed that guy. Target is in. And it's a low 2-2. Two balls, two strikes. And a base hit to right field. Nice at bat.
Now you can't execute against that cut any better if you're a right-handed hitter than what Kelby Tomlinson just did. Take a look at how Kenley Jansen worked him. He opened him up with a curveball, then a lot of cutters. And for Kelby Tomlinson, who is really one of the better two-strike hitters on this Giants team, he had a plan. He was thinking right field, executed perfectly, and a little two-out thunder going here now for the Giants.
Now you get a gapper, you got a chance to win the game because of the speed of Tomlinson at first. Marquis Hernandez is 0 for 2.
And we've seen some inside-out approach from him in this series. And that's what he has to have here to beat Jansen.
You know, Mike, I'll bet they're thinking about sending Tomlinson.
Well, they should. Now, Jansen, though, for his size, is not that slow. I mean, if he gives the high leg kick, he is, but he has a slide step where he can be quick.
Outside the ball, 1 ball and no strikes.
I mean, that was 1.34 seconds, a little slow. 1.25 is average. Austin Barnes, the catcher, he doesn't have quite the arm that Grandal has. So there is an opportunity to steal. And I think Dave Roberts, the skipper for the Dodgers, thinking the same thing.
There's Dave Roberts. Really good guy became a really bad guy in one decision for the Dodgers.
That's what happens when you strap that uni on.
He's a good guy. 1-0 to Hernandez. Swing and a foul into the glove of Barnes. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. See Joe Panik on deck. Tomlinson does not go, and it's 1-2. And another soft toss. Tomlinson back.
It's a lot of respect that Jensen's showing Tomlinson.
He's trying to get Panic into the batter's box. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Tomlinson goes, swinging a foul, out of play.
1.37 on the unload time from Jansen. Every 1/10 of a second is 3 feet. So if you're a 1/10 of a second over the 1.25 average, you're giving that base runner an extra 3 feet to be safe. You know, guys that strike out hitters like Jansen, I don't think they really care. Rob Nin was the same way. He was one of the slowest guys ever. And he didn't care if the guy stole a base. His mentality was, I'm going to strike the next guy out. And he could do it.
Dennis Eckersley. So 1-2 to Gorkis Hernandez. Tomlinson goes down low, and now you got the winning run at second base.
Well, he picked a good pitch to go on. Jansen tried to drop a curveball, hit that thing in the dirt, and Barnes could not pick up the 1-hop. But watch the jump. That's just a huge jump. And the big 90 feet. Tomlinson with very good speed. And remember, if there's a ground ball that gets through, he's going to get a 2-out jump.
Yep. 2-2 to Hernandez in a battle. Got him, and that'll end the inning. Extra innings. It's 1-1. Corey Guerin comes in, and he'll do the pitching.
Corey Guerin having a good start to this season. No ERA yet. 6 strikeouts and 6 1/3. However, 6 walks. Something he'd like to clean up. Eating up right-handers. Lefties a bit different. You take your at-bats against him. You're going to see a high sidearm delivery with low 90s velocity. He's got a slider and an occasional changeup. And I mean occasional. That's a project still. His key, as always, knee-high location. That's where the ground balls are.
Yasmani Grandal is going to pinch hit. Check that. Gonzalez is going to hit. Well, Gonzalez will lead things off. followed by Grandal. And then it will be the pitcher spot. Just outside to Gonzalez.
Always talked about the relaxed hand action that Gonzalez has. The lighter you grip the bat, the heavier the bat head, and he has one of the heaviest bat heads in the game because of that light grip he puts on the bat.
2-0. Gonzalez has only faced Guerin one time. He's 1 for 1. He picked up a double in his only at bat. Not even close. So a pitch away from walking the leadoff hitter. Here's the 3-0 pitch. And he gets the call. 3-1.
Adrian Gonzalez not in a hurry. Completely at home in that batter's box.
Helped him out. 3-2.
That's something that he normally does not do a lot of, and that's swing out of the strike zone. It's a low ball hitter by nature. He's sitting on a 3-1 count looking for a fastball, and this is one of those rare times that he goes out and chases.
And the payoff. And he stays alive.
It's the best pitch he's throwing him right there. 3-2 fastball right on the bottom part of the strike zone, and by the time Gonzalez committed to it, and he had to protect in a 2-strike count, that sink took it below the zone.
So 7th pitch coming up. And he walked him. That's it. Here's Bochy's coming out. He's not coming out until Roberts makes a move.
Los Angeles, number 26, Chase Utley.
So Utley's going to be introduced. And Okert's coming in. So situation now, Dodgers with a runner on here in the 10th with nobody out. Okert coming in. is into the game.
Take a look at what Oakland has done in 7 appearances. He's been very good. Just 3 base runners in 5 of the third. 3 strikeouts. See a load of mid-90s fastball from a low 3/4 release with a curveball and a slider. And nobody's really squaring him up. Righty's hitting lower than lefties against him. It'll be a bunt situation, I would imagine, here for Chase Utley and the Dodgers. They do not have great speed with Adrian Gonzalez at first base.
So here's Utley. Utley bunt is over the backstop, and it's 0-1. There was a time, and in a long time, when Utley was in Philadelphia, I don't believe he even knew what the bunt sign was. I mean, that's just the type of hitter he was. Here it's 0-1. See what he's done as a pinch hitter. Here it's 0-1. Pretty good pitch. A ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. A pitch running down and away from you. That would be the one you'd kind of want to lay down if you can.
Any movement on a baseball that's moving its way down is an easier pitch to bunt than one that's high.
And it's now 1-2. Trying to foul out of play.
If you follow the path of Stephen Oakland, I mean, he's been yo-yoed the last couple of years, up and down. You know, you always look at this guy and say, there's going to be one of these days where he's going to stick and he ain't going back. And this may be now. Had a great spring. They sent him down because he had options left, basically. Went down to Sacramento, did really well. Earned his way back up here. But he's an asset in that Giants bullpen. And he's got that attitude. I want to pitch every day.
Two and two.
That's a good pitch. Oakland flinched there. He thought he had strike 3 on him. Take a look and see where this was in the strike zone. Just a wee bit low.
Well, Gonzalez, as Mike mentioned, isn't fast, but we'll keep an eye on him at first. Oakland needs to throw a strike. Cued. This is going to be a tough play, and everybody's going to be safe. So that'll be a base hit. It didn't matter what Arroyo was going to do on this one. It was going to be a hit.
I mean, Utley's got a 2 for 33 going into this at bat, and he hadn't had a lot of these type of hits.
Giants actually caught a break by that ball hitting Arroyo in the foot. Otherwise, it's down the left field line. So here's Grandal.
And he is the last man on that Dodger bench. They have no more moves to make. Tight zone. Talked about that at the very first pitch of this game. Kerwin Danley does not have the same strike zone that we've seen the last couple nights, which were rather large zones. There have not been many corner strikes at all for either team today.
So we're going to foul straight back. It's one ball and 1 strike.
He was not fooled on that speed. He was on it. Oakert pitching for a ground ball right here. Love to pick up a couple outs with a ground ball.
One and 2.
And also take a strikeout. He'd take any out that would not allow the Dodgers to get to third base with less than 2 outs.
And the 1-2 is hit foul and into the club level down the right field line.
Now this is a situation too. If you're a middle infielder for the Giants, you have to know that Chase Utley in a runner in first situation, he's going to get a big lead off first, and he is going to come in hard and try and break up a double play if there is indeed a ball hit on the ground. So if you're turning the pivot, you've got to think you got to get rid of it quick with Utley breathing down your neck.
2-2.
Because Utley comes into second base as aggressively as anybody in this league.
Even though you're a little bit more protected, you still got to be aware of that. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 3-2.
Well, this is a huge pitch here. You cannot give up that 90 feet between second and third base with less than 2 outs for free by way of a walk or a hit batsman.
Well, look where they're at. It a walk and an infield hit, and now it's 3-2.
So indeed there is a walk, and that's going to bring out Dave Righetti, and he's just going to try and bring the focus back to Stephen Oakert. Pretty much the same scenario the Dodgers put themselves in last night in the 10th inning.
So Stripling is going to run at third. So here's Tolles. Giants have created this.
Well, now you got to get lucky. The one thing you have to do to try and get lucky is you have to be able to throw strikes.
One ball and no strikes. Stripling, Utley, and Grandal are your base runners here in the 10th. One ball and 1 strike. There they are. Hernandez is on deck. One and 2.
And there's a corner strike. And right now, Oakert take anyone he can get. So now a 1-2 advantage. And Tolles is an aggressive swinger. He will chase.
Foul back. He waited on that breaking ball. So a 1-2 pitch coming up with the bases loaded and nobody out. This is going to hurt. Into the gap. 1 run scores. And now they got a runner hung up at second, and Tomlinson through to third. So the Dodgers take the lead.
Well, they tried to give the Giants an out. But, you know, you've been that middle infielder on a relay. You're thinking the lead bag. You're thinking home. You're not thinking second base. You see him look. You throw to third too late. And he gives up an out at second.
So double switch. Bases are still loaded. Dodgers have taken the lead. And we're going to take a break. It's going to be Strickland coming in. 2-1 LA. Taking a 2-1 lead. And Hunter Strickland will be the guy to face Kiki Hernandez.
Well, he inherits the ultimate challenge coming into a bases loaded, nobody out situation. He's been throwing the ball well. 8 strikeouts in 8 1/3, 7 base runners in 8 1/3. Mid to high 90s with a fastball, hard slider, and a split.
So the Giants will play the infield in again. And here's Hernandez. And it's a high pop-up. And Buster Posey double clutches it and throws. And Utley is safe. And a run scores. So a great play by Buster Posey.
It really is. They're going to peel third at some point. And it really was a great play for Posey. And he knew that Utley was in on third, and he knew that Utley has.
Well, here's the thing, Mike. So do you go when the fielder touches it or when he catches it?
Well, that's the thing. And I think Buster Posey sensed that because the ball hits his glove. Now watch it pops up. And you know what? He's got a point. They're going to peel third base, and they may get it. And that should be, well.
Yeah. If it's when you touch it, then it's the right call. And I think it is. But hey, it's worth a shot, right? Ends up being a sacrifice fly.
That's when you touch it.
So the walk to Seager.
It's when you touch it, he can go on the touch. Otherwise, it'd be a pretty good play. Do it on purpose. If it had been a little bit lower, they may have had a shot to get him.
So here's Turner. Bases are loaded with one out. Turner lines it into center field, and that's a base hit. Everybody's going to move up a base, and it's 4-1. Well, as good as the bullpen's been, not here in the 10th.
Well, the big thing that set the inning up are 2 walks at the load of the bases. He had 2 walks and an infield single.
Hard slide by Seager. Here's Puig.
Can't imagine that felt very good.
Puig with a pop-up. And Buster Posey's going to make the catch. 2 outs. Here's Taylor. Taylor today 1 for 4. Outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Guys will have some work to do in the bottom of the 10th. And it's just a bit outside.
Chris Hatcher, he's had a couple of humps today. He will pitch the bottom of the 10th.
Two 2-0.
Got to challenge that strike zone.
Yes, you do. 3-0.
And that's an easy take. The walk has been problematic for the Giants in this inning. They've given up 3.
And it's high, ball 4.
And you cannot defend that.
That's an RBI for Taylor. And Bruce Bochy's coming out. We got a new pitcher coming in. It's 5-1 Dodgers. Into this inning, it was 1-1. 1, 2, 3. What do you have? 4 walks in this inning?
Yeah, 3 walks and an intentional walk, making it a total of 4. So Neil Ramirez comes in. 8th game that he's come into. He's really throwing the bat a lot better than the 9.7-2 ERA would lead you to believe. 14 strikeouts in 18 1/3. That's credibility.
And he's facing, remember, the pinch runner was Stripling, the reliever, and he's now at the plate. It would be wise if Ramirez throws strikes here.
It's usually not something you worry about with Neil Ramirez. He's got a good feel of the ball. A little mid-90s fastball and good ball slider. Change up occasionally.
Hit out into center field. And that'll end the inning. A 4-run 10th. Giants have Panic, Pence, and Belt coming up. p.m. and prior to that, it'll be the hour-long pregame live at 6 p.m. and you can see it right here on NBC Sports Bay Area. It'll be the Giants and the Padres. Utley is into play at first. The new pitcher is Chris Hatcher.
Take a look at what Hatcher has done in 6 games. 14 strikeouts in 11 2/3 innings. ERA of 3.86. It's a hard throw. You'll see mid to high 90s with velocity. This thing could cut it with a hard slider and a split.
Facing Joe Panic. And strike to Panic.
95 miles per hour as advertised.
Pence on deck. Tomorrow we mentioned we'll be on the air pregame live at 6, game at 7. It'll be Jeff Samardzija against Luis Perdomo. Matt Cain against Jolice Chacin on Saturday. There's a strike to Panic, and then Ty Block against Clayton Richard on Sunday. Yeah, same 3 guys the Giants faced in San Diego, I believe.
It is. Funny how that works out.
Panic fouls it out of play. Padres are playing tonight in Arizona.
Hey, she found a souvenir. Grateful Dead fan. Had a bit.
Joe stays alive. It remains 1-2.
Patrick. And I got a ball.
And she did indeed. Panic lifts it into center field. And it's going to be caught by Hernandez. 1 out. Just hung up there long enough. And here's Pence. Hunter Pence today is 1 for 3. And he takes a strike.
Hunter Pence in the die-hard mode right now. I always like that when Dusty Baker would say that. Which is the way he hit when you faced him. It was always personal.
Yeah.
The Seagulls are here. That glove's looking any older up there in left center?
Looks exactly the same. Old.
A little more white on the fingertips, though. Thanks to the Seagulls.
Oh, that's what you're talking about. Yeah, then I agree with you.
I don't think the Seagulls really are in midseason form yet.
I'll give them some time. Pence hits a high fly ball center field through the Seagulls. 2 outs.
Don't hurt my Seagulls now. Every time we talk about the Seagulls and call them Seagulls, we get emails.
Yeah, we know.
Text messages.
Yeah, we know.
It's not a Seagull, it's a gull.
We know.
Not here, though. They're more like pets.
Here's Belt. Belt 1 for 3 with a walk. Belt hit a line drive to left field for a base hit in the 4th. Swing and a miss, nothing in 2. No balls, 2 strikes. And it's low, 1 and 2. Here's the 1-2 to Belt, and Belt lines it right at Seager. So the Dodgers, with an extra inning win today, they come back and even up this 4-game series. Giants disappointed. They had a shot to win this one in the 9th inning and just could not get through the Dodgers in the 10th. So disappointing loss.
Well, the Dodger bullpen had been so good. I mean, the last, through this whole series, they had, in 11 innings, they'd given up 1 run, and today it had a little bit of a collapse, and they're going to think they beat themselves because they gave up 4 walks there in the 10th.
So it's a rough afternoon for the bullpen, and the Dodgers beat the Giants by a final of 5-1. Stay tuned. Esurance Giants postgame live starts right